Who are we when the systems of power that control our lives are revealed to us, and we learn that we are nothing but a cog in their machine? Do we accept our place, or do we fight to make ourselves matter? My name is Shane, this is my show, and these are the questions at the heart of Loki, the newest, and in my opinion, most interesting Marvel Cinematic TV show. Season 1 is officially halfway over, so consider the following a half review of the show so far. Full spoilers for episodes 1 through 3 ahead. 3 episodes in, Loki, the show, stands apart from WandaVision and The Falcon and the Winter Soldier in its approach to its lead character's metatextual role in the MCU.
Sure. You weren't born to be king, Loki. You were born to cause pain and suffering and death. That's how it is, that's how it was, that's how it will be. All so that others can achieve their best versions of themselves.
That's rough, buddy.
Loki, the character, firmly believes that he is
burdened with glorious purpose.
That purpose being ruling the world and spiting his adoptive family. But if you've been following the MCU for a long time, like I have, you might forget just how little we actually see all of these characters. Watching the entire Infinity Saga, that's Iron Man 1 through Spider-Man Far From Home, takes 49 hours and 56 minutes. I checked. Loki is on screen for roughly 75 of those minutes, which hardly even qualifies as a feature film. Loki, the breakout character, star of thousands of pages of fan fiction, is on screen for less than 3% of the franchise. Not much of a glorious purpose, right? He's a villain for 2 movies, a side character for 2 others, and then he gets clapped 3 minutes into Infinity War to establish the stakes. He's a particularly charismatic footnote in the movies. That's why the Time Variance Authority works so well as Loki's opposition. They are a literal and meta stand-in for the continuity of 13 years of movies, and the bit part that a character like Loki is bound to. I'm not saying anything new here. Episode 1 makes this explicit by having Lightning McQueen, or rather, Mobius and Mobius, Time Cop, show this version of Loki what his future would have held. Loki is always doomed. He either watches his mother and father die before his own demise, or he's a variant who gets erased by the TVA to prevent a multiverse. Loki always loses, and now he knows that the universe conspires to make that true. Now, obviously the TVA's ultimate mission of maintaining the timeline is doomed to fail by the end of the season. Doctor Strange 2 is about a multiverse of madness, and the TVA can't be around to prevent one from existing by 2022. But 3 episodes in, Loki, the show, surprised me in the way it chafes against the inevitability of the Disney content machine.
Is this the greatest power in the universe?
It's not hard to see him asking us as well. After all, we're part of the creative gatekeepers of Marvel movies, the fans and producers that maintain its holy canon. Because the TVA are fascists, right? I mean, peep their aesthetic. They're the time police. Time cops are still cops, so the showrunners make it clear from jump that they're jackbooted thugs that dispassionately murder societal deviants, or rather, variants, and worship the ideals of law and order. Or maybe they didn't mean to do that, but it's kind of what they did. The revelation that the, gatekeepers of the comic canon are actually brainwashed variants makes perfect sense. No one's a better foil for unearned self-importance than a hero like Loki. Now obviously Loki is not an ideal hero. He's not a good person, in this or any timeline.
I've care how you speak. Loki is beyond reason, but he is of Asgard, and he is my brother.
He killed 80 people in 2 days.
He's adopted.
Like many long-running stories where the villains eventually become heroes, his redemption is mostly justified by how we as an audience think of the villain, rather than their own morality or actions within their universe. For example, Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z is one of my favorite characters ever, and he's introduced by killing several members of the cast and blowing up cities. I mean, Yamcha kinda deserved it, he sucks. Loki's redemption only makes sense in a world where truly nothing he does matters. If he ever meaningfully faced consequences for being a mass murderer in the Avengers, it would be a lot harder to enjoy him as a mischievous scamp in Thor Ragnarok. The Loki we follow in this show is from the peak of his arrogance back in Avengers 1, but now he knows that according to the sacred timeline, he really doesn't matter. This new Loki's redemption is less about atonement and more about self-discovery. Who is the god of mischief?
Enjoy your last meal while you can. Nothing matters. Nothing has any consequence. Dance while you still can.
Well, he's kind of a dick. That hasn't changed. But now we know that he's also gender fluid, bisexual, Antifa, and profoundly lonely. A lot of people have loved Loki since his debut, but I don't think the character as presented was worth the hype until now. He and his fellow variant Sylvie, introduced at the end of episode 2 and throughout episode 3, have goals beyond ruling the world. Whether he likes it or not, Loki's true destiny is to burn down the institution that authors the terms of his existence. Perhaps Loki, the show, is another cog in the Marvel machine. The color grading is definitely on model, and paradoxically, the show is best enjoyed if you are as obsessed with continuity as the Timekeepers are. But even if its purpose is predestined, I'm excited to see if the show sticks a glorious landing. It's probably too early to give the show a score just yet. I think it's on track to be 4 slaps out of 5 for me, but obviously we're only halfway through the season, and as we've seen, some of these Marvel shows struggle with their endings. I'll probably come back around and give a fuller review later on, but if you really want to know what's good, it's been 3 months since I've released a video. I think if it can break my writer's block, it might be worth looking into. Again, my name is Shane. I hope you enjoyed my show. If you want to keep up with future episodes, like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. See you next time.
We protect the proper flow of time.
You picked up the Tesseract, breaking reality.
I want you to help us fix it.